It's funnier than anything else. Like, why is Oprah looking like a cross between Maya Angelou and a Dragon Ball Z character?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, there's
Still I rise.
Yeah, and still I rise. Yeah. And you know, we've been talking about the Cosmic Danielle shirt that's in dtmerch.com right now. Now, if you go to Instagram and type in REMUSANDKIKI, ooh, that's going to take you to a wondrous land of beautiful art. Those are the limited items. We have our mainstay items on dtmerch.com. You saw me last night wearing the black tee with the white logo on there. Got the jerseys. We have the DT Mystery Squad is still there. Got backpacks, got phone covers, all kind of stuff. Be a subscriber by joining many ways, but the way I recommend is through Amazon. You have an Amazon account. We have an Amazon Pay button. Put your username in there. Put your password in there. Press send. Oh, what's happening to me? Oh, my God. I feel so much sexier. That's because you got all that toasted goodness all over your body just coming down right there. Guaranteed to get you more sex. In our Amino community, if you haven't used the app, it's where you go in there and people share a common interest. There's an app right there that you can see that what it looks like on your phone. And I pulled up the desktop version of that because I want to show some things tonight. But go over there and check it out. It's a lot of fun that it's turned out to be for a lot of people. And tonight for the big movie, as you know, that's going to be A Wrinkle in Time. On Amino, people are taking guesses as to what we're going to do with this. And they say that as far as averaging out with our opinions, better than sex, 3.8%. Full price, 3.8% tied right there. Matinee, people think we were going to like this movie enough to give it that with a leading 42.3%. Going right down to a rental, 23.1%. But in second place as far as opinions and on this poll, people think that we're going to give this movie some old bullshit or maybe even a fuck you. Oh, my God. Could the movie possibly be that bad? I don't know. Let's take a look and see. Because the history of this movie right here, kind of rocky when it comes to bringing it to the screen. Now, this is based on the classic novel. I don't know if anybody read this book before. This is a book that was written in the 60s by Madeleine L'Engle. And that's her right there. Beautiful woman right there. Wrote a beautiful story, some people say. Young people doing a lot of interdimensional travel, time traveling away, sci-fi back then, and it was groundbreaking because it had a young teenage girl as their lead protagonist. So this book was already ahead of its time. Mm-hmm. So much ahead of its time that people said, yeah, that's good, if you like to read, but a lot of people out there, they dropping the books, and they like to watch movies now and watch television, and this what you got right here, good for those eggheads, but for those people who like to watch the movies, this is unfilmable.
And I'll read.
Yeah.
Show me some shit.
Well, that's too bad because this ain't going to the screen. A lot of people have said this is unfilmable.
Yeah, look at that fabulous centaur. You can't put that on film.
You can't put that on there. Not back in the day. Unless you just really cut a horse's head off and saw a man's legs off and tie them together.
Every time there's something that people say is unfilmable, there's always somebody who goes, oh, yeah? Hold on, watch this.
Hold my beer.
Yeah. Only to watch them crash and burn and come back and go like, well, I guess y'all were right.
Well, Martin, in 2003, that's when Disney said, well, hey, we'll try.
Yeah.
Let's just see what we can do. I mean, we Disney. We got money. We got resources.
We got kids.
We got kids.
We got a factory pumping out kids.
And we got you make Disney sound like a vagina or something. We not only that, we don't need no movie theater. You talk about unfilmable. We ain't taking that to the theater. We got a whole channel dedicated to kids. And that means we don't have to spend too much on the budget either. So back at that time, that's when you got the television movie version of A Wrinkle in Time.
As Disney presents A Wrinkle in Time. Meg Murray had the perfect family.
Whenever you need me, I'll be right here.
Until her father mysteriously vanished.
That girl's high as hell.
Don't worry, I'll always be right here. Bye-bye.
And then when that was made for television, people continued to say, yeah, it's unfilmable because you never should have filmed that right there. Even the author came out And she said because she was still alive, barely alive at the time.
What's the last word?
So this is how dare you?
I only held on just to watch this.
Yeah, she's like that person who you about to just kill, put a bullet in there, like fuck you. She had her last words right here, where that wasn't really her last words, but close to it. She's like, A Wrinkle in Time received generally negative reviews from film critics. In a Q&A with MSNBC Newsweek, entertainment reporter Melinda Hannenberger, had Arthur N. Engel said of the film, "I have glimpsed it. I expected it to be bad, and it is."
Last words right.
15 years has passed. Disney has had a long time to sit down and think
Only
about
she could have
this.
held on another 15 years.
Oh, no.
I mean, computers have gotten better. Kid actors have gotten better. You're telling me this hasn't...
That's what it is, man. 15 years Disney has had to sit down and think about this, and they finally said, you know something? Give us one more chance. I mean, we've studied this. We've looked at our mistakes. Technology has gotten so much better.
It has.
The computer effects can bring the vision of this author to the screen like she wants it. And
And if we spend the money on an all-star cast, maybe this time.
And we spend the money on, and we got a giant Oprah. How can we go wrong with this right here? And we're not doing that small screen stuff. We're taking this to the big screen, unlike that little punk ass thing we did back then. No. That's how confident we are. Let's go ahead and take a look at the trailer for A Wrinkle in Time 2018.
We heard a cry out in the universe.
My father's alive.
We believe he is, and we're here to help you find him.
What movie am I in? Yeah, Chris Pine. He's like, what? Why am I trapped in a Drake video right now?
Do you trust me? I trust you.
A lot of visuals going on there. Much better than that thing they did back in 2003. And you might have a hard time pulling a story together from that. I mean, I know I did when I saw the trailer, so I'll see if I can just break it down for you very simply. You have Meg here, played by Storm Reid, and Meg she's upset and acting up at school and lashing out, and friends don't like her anymore because she's just so cold and distant. And it's because her dad left 4 years ago and ain't came back, and the whole time he was talking about, I'm doing this project, I'm about to travel to other dimensions, I think I got it, and people telling her, girl, your dad just left you for another woman. Your daddy got another family out there. Yeah,
Your daddy was crazy, by the way.
But damn, my daddy left too, but at least he said he was going out for milk. Your daddy said he went to another dimension. He really not like your ass. So she decides to take a whole shitload of drugs to go find her daddy. And along the way is hallucinating a lot before she gets to her destination or her goal.
Wait, what?
I say drugs because it might as well be that.
Okay.
Because once this whole thing happens and I'm not gonna even tell you how it happens, because it really doesn't make that much sense. It's just that
it just happens.
A crazy woman shows up at their house and says, I think I know where your daddy is. Come on, kids. And, and that's how kids get kidnapped today. But they're like, oh, okay. It turns out that she does take them on some magical adventure to some other dimension where apparently her father did go because of his experiments that everybody doubted him for. The reason why you're not hearing about the story or the plot of this movie, besides just being just batshit insane, is that everybody's talking about how important this movie is to people before it's even released. Mm-hmm. You got a black female director with a big budget sci-fi fantasy film mixing two genres on like a $150 million to $200 million budget. You got a black girl in the lead, and you have a large female cast. And did I forget to mention you got Oprah, a giant ass Oprah in this.
Yeah.
If you do not support this movie, then you are not supporting diversity. You are not supporting that next big step that underrepresented people need in Hollywood. And to that, I want to say, I'm sorry. Because I do not like this movie.
Honestly, watching this movie makes me want to rethink this whole diversity thing.
I wouldn't even go. No, I wouldn't even go that far. Hell no. No, you can take that. No, I'm gonna get mine. It truly is a movie that's sincere. You know, these people. It's such a positive film, and these people are not doing this as a money grab. They're not doing this as a vanity project. This is something that people really do feel is important. They feel like the work they're doing is out there to bring in business for Disney, but also to change the structure. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, but if I got to pull y'all back a little bit with my opinions, you feel like I'm holding something back, then so be it. Because I don't like this movie, and it's not because I'm just sitting up here wanting to like crack jokes on it. I don't want to be snarky with it. I don't want to be one of those guys. I'm not even going to rail on the movie that hard. But I am going to tell you why I think this movie is failing in more places than it's succeeding. And we came in and talked about this last night. A lot of this, it has to do really with the books. I mean, I was reading them.
What their books were about.
Oh,
I know.
yeah.
When you read the synopsis, you're like, all right, this was doomed from the beginning.
This is a case of being too ambitious. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
This is really hard to bring to any kind of screen. I'm sure it could be done, but it's hard to do without changing the source material a lot, I think.
Yeah, but there's plenty of changes that she made. They just weren't the good changes. A big thing that Wrinkle in Time is known for is that cover you showed with the Pegasus Centaur guy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of an iconic image.
Yeah.
And yet we never see that guy.
No.
And that first world they go to, that's where he's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a lot of them all around. But all we got was sort of talking flowers.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And the leafy green version of that flying dog from the Never-Ending Story.
Yeah, the asparagus bird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like a friend of mine said, you expecting to go in and see like some real deep sci-fi literature, and you walk in here and you getting like Teletubbies.
Yeah. That's what was Teletubbies the whole time.
Yeah. You didn't expect a little purple man with a purse to be walking by in the background.
Mm-hmm.
And a son with a baby's face.
It really does look like a big budget Teletubbies, and all the worlds they go to, they feel like really just kind of empty, not really like well thought out. It's just like a really pretty desktop background that they're running through in all of them.
Very underpopulated worlds.
Yes.
It's just that this is, and even that could work. But the changes I'm even talking about making, like you can take out characters and whatnot, but you got to streamline this thing to make some sort of sense, because what you got going on right now with this is really just a bunch of random visual sequences happening with no real connection to each other.
Yeah, nothing leads to anything else.
And
it's just this happens and this happens.
And I can guarantee you that Disney knows this, because they are coaching everybody, especially the director, to go out there to just come out and say, they don't tell you anything about the story. I can guarantee you, when you see an interview with somebody, including Ava DuVernay, that's like, hey, you know what? This is just a crazy planet dimension hopping story. Just go out and have fun. Hey, you know what? Just be a little kid and enjoy yourself, which means, translation, shut the fuck up and don't ask any questions.
It's a happy movie. It's just a movie about light. This is a movie for young people and people who are young at heart. That's what it is. So we're here to celebrate flying and hopping planets and going to different universes.
That sounds like drug use to me.
She looking like she's looking over her shoulder like somebody's got a gun to her.
You know what it is? Because Mickey Mouse back there saying,
you better sell this.
Read that script, stick to it. Yeah. Imagine if you were looking at a picture book.
Yeah.
And the picture book was trying to tell a story, but you saw the same characters, but every time you turned the page, they were on a different background. And you didn't know why.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what it feels like. And also, that scene that's in the trailer where she explains the whole concept behind the title, that's not in the movie.
No, that's right.
And you can tell that they edited the fuck out of this. Like, it felt like it was like we were watching pieces of a movie put together. I bet there's like a 2.5 hour long cut of this somewhere.
I ain't gonna watch it.
Yeah, tell me about it. Give me the cliff notes on this. No, I ain't doing this. And the thing about it, it would be one thing if the CG were that great. I mean, you can almost say, all right, you know what? I didn't understand what's going on, but damn, that movie was beautiful. And I can just sit back and just watch it and not have to concentrate on anything else. But that CG is bad. And let me just say, some of it just feels kind of plastic, but the green screen in this, that green screen, I mean, I ain't never seen, and I looked at this close, like you can see, look at this right here, you can see the blue paint around the girl's hair right there. You can see the halo going on right there. And it looks worse when they're moving.
That damn Willy Wonka music popping up.
Is her father.
And they're like, yeah, your daddy left you.
The flowers in the back, like, I cannot see that at all.
It's the Georgia O'Keeffe painting.
You know, this is, they're like, I'm looking at her like, oh yeah, we saw him. He was walking with another woman. Girl, you traveled a long way for nothing. I don't know what you're doing here. You know, when you look at everything that's going on here, when it's just broken down to visuals and nothing else, no story, no character, things, you know, they leave things down to where people just have one trait to describe, you know, their character. Or these people are they're just kind of flat or one-dimensional because they're described, you know, the trait that they show is just being weird or odd, or being kind of flighty and eccentric, and mostly it's coming across as a visual thing, you know, because you have three main characters who are making this dimensional travel happen. It's Reese Witherspoon, Oprah, and
Mindy Kaling.
Mindy Kaling. And you look at them and you just ask more questions than anything. Like, why does it look like they were dumpster diving at a Hobby Lobby? You know, this thing just looks like patchwork. What they have right, just look like scraps.
Reese Witherspoon, like she's been huffing spray paint.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She looking like that crazy high school art teacher you had. That hippie ass art teacher that you had. You know, weird things just happen out of nowhere with no explanation. Why does Reese Witherspoon turn into a flying lettuce wrap? You know, why that happens for no reason at all?
Yeah, she takes them on a flight and then they come back and it's like, okay, that did nothing to advance any of this.
No, it just almost gets someone killed. And there was no goal when they did that at all.
No, she just goes in the middle of the beach and starts doing twirls, and all of a sudden she's a salad. It's like, you know what? Maybe I just don't have that child wonderment anymore. Maybe I'm not in touch with my inner kid anymore. But what the fuck? You know what explains? Just give me a little hint of what happened with that.
Yeah, well, the movie started with that statement, like a film statement from the director, pretty much saying what she said in that interview there. This is a movie for the young and the young at heart. And immediately it just came across as, oh, you're asking me to lower my standards. Because we've seen movies for young people and for the young at heart. And that's not an excuse to make crap. No, and this is crap.
Yeah, it's funnier than anything else. Like, why is Oprah looking like a cross between Maya Angelou and a Dragon Ball Z character?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, there's
Still I Rise.
Yeah, and Still I Rise.
And she's 40 feet tall. She looks like a kaiju in half the scenes she's in.
Look like she's looking at Godzilla right now. Yeah, come on, let's do it. Fuck your Pacific Rim. Let's do it.
Yeah. This movie, what's really bad about it is how incompetently directed it is. Everybody comes off as wooden, like they're in a Star Wars prequel. If you hadn't seen any of these people before, you would just think, well, they're all just terrible actors.
Yeah.
I think the only one who really gets some emotion, some genuine emotion out is Gugu Mbatha Raw. She seems real. And
Who plays the mom.
Yeah, she plays the mom. And Chris Pine, he seemed to be, they gave him stupid shit to say.
He was trying.
But he was trying.
Yeah.
And everybody else was just wooden, and all the characters are directed in such a way where none of their behavior resembles real people. I was just like, that's not the conversation you have right now. That's not the dialogue you should say. All this dialogue, why is it so bad? When you're in danger, why is nobody reacting the way people do when they're in danger? And her DuVernay's thing about just have fun. It's like none of this stands up to the question of why. You say, why just have fun? Well, just because these three supposed to be angels, I guess, show up and you ask why, then they don't give you an answer. You go see Zach Galifianakis as the happy medium. So it's not really a why. Like, this movie, it says a bunch of things, but it doesn't sell any of it.
I agree with everything you just said, and you'd be willing to roll with it somewhat if you like these characters.
Yes.
But you don't at all. You don't like any of these characters, especially these fucking kids.
Well, especially the creepy little brother.
Yeah. The little brother's a creep. The main girl, like, nothing against the actress at all. You just don't like her. She's unlikable. She's mean and treats everyone around her like crap. But then like just like how she talks to her little brother, and even just like the witches, I guess. It's like, no, you're just being kind of mean to people. Like, I understand you've been through some stuff, but I don't really feel that sympathetic towards you. There's never a scene with her where I was like, oh, that sucks what she's going through. And I felt like that's a big thing that's missing, because she has a good reason to be acting the way she's acting. We just never see it.
Another thing, they don't sell it. They say it and they don't sell it.
Yeah, I felt the same way. I'm like, when the kids are picking on her, like, I don't feel, I don't feel like kids should be bullies, but I'm just kind of like, damn, girl, if you just lighten up a little bit and just talk to people. Because at first I was like, man, these girls are bitches. They shouldn't be doing that. And then she went to our principal's office. She had this whole thing with the principal, like, yeah, fuck you too, nigga. It's like, okay, maybe you deserve just a little bit of what you're getting right now.
I don't know, man. The way the adults were about them, like the principal's all in her face, like, what's your damn problem? Like, my dad died and that girl has been saying mean shit to me all year long. Sorry that I defended myself. And the other two teachers talking shit about her and her little brother. Well, the dad ran out on him, and that little brother's creepy, and that girl, she's always in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, damn, y'all don't have a teacher's lounge where you can talk about this?
We want them to hear what we say.
Zach Galifianakis, as you said, he has a purpose in the movie, but he comes in so quick and he's gone. It's like, well, you really could have done that without him. You didn't even need to be there.
Yeah. If things need to be cut, he was one of them.
Oh yeah. And the one that the craziest one to me was Michael Pena, who came in looking like a craft brewery bartender about to do a kids show. This guy, he came in and he had the weirdest. I mean, first of all, he came out of nowhere, and then I guess his exit was the most baffling thing I've ever seen. I wish I could tell you what it was. I'm talking about some real glue in a bag puffing type shit for what they did here. This is some real psychedelic shit they did with this, because they didn't even try to explain why this man turned into what he did and why he left the movie the way he did.
Well, even that world they go to that he's on, where we've been with this movie for so long, so much time on Earth, so much time on that first world and doing all this, and it seems like it should be winding down, but now they're finally getting to a second world. Mm-hmm. A lot of the book is supposed to be on that world, but then we just get a glimpse here and a glimpse there, and it just seems like that was so completely random.
Yeah.
And honestly, this is one of those movies where Michael Pena kind of gets one of the best performances.
I actually liked him.
Man, that was one of the, if you want to know how this movie is, Michael Pena shows up and somehow isn't the worst part of it. No.
I ain't gonna be hard on like that.
That's remarkable for me.
But I don't, and it's not that I don't like the actress here, Storm Reid. I think that she is good in the role. I just don't like her character. But even less than her little brother, I just don't like that much. And it's not because the little brother is even creepy to me. I think the little brother's fine as an actor himself, but again, he was given some direction where he does like what most child actors do. He's just too cute.
Yeah.
He's just too precocious. Seriously, every line he says is with bright eyes and with a smile and a gleeful nod of the head. And then when they really let him go, man, I ain't never seen this boy, about 7 years old? His little ass was chewing up scenery like he's Al Pacino or something.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a moment where he's just strutting
I know.
and doing his thing on set, and I was like, God damn, somebody settle that boy down.
It's like they gave him a huge pixie stick and
just let him go. Yeah, man, and the kid's name is Derek McCabe. Nothing against the kid. For him to hold it down like that in a role like this, to have this much personality, it's fine. But it needed just more direction to make it seem more natural. He felt like a child actor.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
This boy is acting. Only thing that he got me, it wouldn't have surprised me at all if he had just turned around and screamed and said, "Ooh-ah!"
That kid devours scenery, man. Jesus Christ.
Kid got fangs, man.
I was enjoying him doing that in that way of like, this is so over the top, but it's just funny to watch.
I can even see this later on with the generations that grow up with this. They might learn, they might be the ones to love it. This might end up being a classic for them, because I think back to my childhood, and when I was coming up, we had We had crazy shit that that we watched too, made by people who were actually on drugs. You know, I mean, this is talking dragons on a living island, and none of this stuff made sense. They were short and silly, and they didn't take themselves seriously.
And coherent.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with this, well, you know, even if they weren't, if they were just saying, man, we're just doing this for fun. I mean, yeah, it's just silly fun. Unlike this movie where it takes itself very seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to talk about somebody's taking drugs. It's like that person who takes drugs and all of a sudden decides that they're the smartest person in the room and they're ready to tell you about physics and, you know, astrophysics. Because, you know, this movie, it really does pull back, starts like showing all these crazy hallucinogenics, and then they start saying, hey man, you know the other dimensions out there? Nah, brother, it's all in the mind.
You know you're explaining Cosmic Danielle right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. This is Cosmic Danielle.
She wrote this?
The motion picture.
Okay.
No, brother, you want to go to another planet? You want to go to the realms? It's all up here, my man.
Get the shirt, then go watch this movie.
That is a funny scene where Chris Pine is he's in the lecture hall telling them about, I figured out wormholes. And they're all like, yes, please, go on. Yeah, and we can do it with our minds. Everybody starts going,
Yeah. That's the thing right there is that
He's just looking like that the whole time. Oh, it's so funny.
just place Michael Jordan's face.
he goes to do a lecture and he sits back and he's actually confused as to why people are laughing at him.
Yeah.
Suddenly separated by a galaxy, but somehow still just as connected. An unbroken union despite being galaxies apart.
And our most recent calculations show us that these fields.
That brother right there, like, this is the worst fucking TED Talk I've ever been to.
I was looking for you. I was like, oh, it's cool. I'm going to put that guy out.
They're trying to explain science with love. It's like,
That's
so you don't get that whack shit out of my face.
I told you last night, that's one of my biggest pet peeves
Mine
in the movie.
too. That's why watching The Fifth Element, when they got to that, the fifth element is love. I was like, fuck you.
Yeah. Well, I hate you. You know, that's one of my biggest pet peeves and things. You know, they're left to like a lot of really vague cliches here, and that is one of them. Love. Love is the key, and love conquers all. And it just pisses me off because they try to actually they try to force it into science. Like this, like Chris Pine in the movie, like he's working on his time travel theory and wondering why it ain't working. He's sitting up there amongst all these tubes, all these electronics, all these formulas on the wall, and he's like, what is that last thing that's keeping me from time traveling? And he's just like, oh, but at least I got my wife. Boy, I love her. She's fine. I said, love, that's it. That is the bit. Like, he really does have a eureka moment where, like, it's love. And he actually, I don't know how you do this, but he puts in his computer.
Yeah, I know.
Just types in love.
Where's love on the periodic table? I missed that one.
Yeah, he puts in love, and he's like, that was it. And the mummy types in love. Oh shit, zoop. He's gone.
Yeah.
Love snatches his ass up real quick, flings him across the galaxy. I really do like Chris Pine in the movie. He's not in the movie that much, but I like him here.
Yeah.
It almost feels like Ava DuVernay. Like she oh shit, I done made this motherfucker cry at the Oscars. I better give him better give him a job. You know, the other vague thing that they do with this that I don't like, being that they reduce these things to these vague cliches. The villain in the movie, the force that's opposing them.
You mean it?
It.
Pennywise?
And ain't no. I wish it was a big ass clown in space. At least be something.
Yeah,
but
man.
Again, it goes to that old cliche of, oh, what is evil? Evil just a big old black thing in the sky.
Yeah.
It's just, you know. Oh, I'm sorry, a big old black cloud in the sky that talks with that same. Microphone with the evil filter on it.
It's Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget.
You can't defeat me, boo-ha.
Yeah.
I almost beat the Fantastic Four. I'll get you, bitch.
Fuck you in your love, boo-ha.
Least favorite cliches, man. Like evil is just like this smog cloud. It's like, come on, man. Give me a face. Give me a character. Give me something.
Yeah, and it's that evil that, you know, it doesn't have a face, but of course it has tentacles with big glowing hands. You know, all these evil things always have tendrils and tentacles.
Wasn't that the thing from It as well?
Yeah. Yeah, there's always some big black shit floating up in the clouds, and they slapping the shit out of you with like tentacles and big old worm-like arms, and same thing here. And this is one of the times that you're gonna actually hear me go back and praise this movie. It's still not a good movie, and this is the reason why this movie failed too, because it felt like it just wasn't very tight, and just kept it kept taking you from one visual scenario to another, and that's Tomorrowland. But Tomorrowland, I will say this: Tomorrowland still has more coherence to it.
It does.
Than this movie here. At least it has a driving story. It was just kind of
The villain had a face.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I mean, it had something you could understand. I mean, you might roll your eyes and go like, "Oh, not this again," but you get it. The whole time you get it. And with A Wrinkle in Time, it feels like it's just a pastiche of every YA fantasy movie that's ever existed before, every classic. Only to come together. Honestly, there's a point when I was sitting here and I was like, you know what? I owe a big apology to Jupiter Ascending.
No, you don't.
Whoa.
No, you don't. No, Jupiter Ascending. No, Jupiter Ascending is still a piece of shit. No,
it's still a piece of shit. But it was constant because this is dull for a lot of it too. That first half is super boring. And
I feel like you haven't seen Jupiter Ascending in a while. It is very dull.
I know, but it's just constantly throwing new shit, and you're like, okay, you're still going at it. Where with this, I was like, man, you're just kind of lingering out there.
Yeah. Jupiter Ascending had Eddie Redmayne in it, which gave me something to laugh at.
Eddie Redmayne. Eddie, give me a cough drop, Redmayne.
Honestly, this is the worst movie I've seen this year so far. Looking at the trailers and the audience reaction from the Oscars, my expectations were low, but I just wasn't prepared for how bad and dull and trite this was going to be, and just how, like I said, it was like if Ava DuVernay, if this was her very first movie, be like, well, okay. On some level, this is no better than that 2003 Disney Channel movie. It's some old bullshit.
I got nothing, man. This is crap. This is. I'm glad you brought up Jupiter Ascending. This feels like Jupiter Ascending for kids, like for 4 or 5 year old kids. This movie could have been something that was important thanks to like what it's doing with that diversity with the cast, having all these women in there as well. But that doesn't change the fact that the script is crap and that the story is just, you can't really follow it because it's just such a jumbled mess. The directing's bad, the editing, it feels like this thing has been chopped up so many fucking times. There's no redeeming qualities for it for me. And I agree, it's hands down the worst movie I've seen this year so far. This is a fuck you, man. Because you've got a lot of talented people involved here.
True.
You've got the might of the mouse behind this. And this is the best you could come up with. This is fucking garbage.
You know, me going back to my childhood, knowing the crazy stuff that I watched that was even at the time said it was a failure and only to be a classic later. I don't know where this is going to go. I mean, it might be heavily criticized, or this might be a cult classic, or just a child's classic down the line. If you're an adult going to see this, unless if you don't really have that kind of personal stock in it, I can see you feeling like us. It's just something where I don't know where this is going. I don't know what's happening. I don't know where all these weird people are coming from. Things just happen with no explanation. If that's you, then enter at your own risk. But, for somebody like me, I give this a very low rental. Because I know the audience that it's meant for.
In the grand scheme of like Disney movies that are like this, like John Carter of Mars, Tron Legacy, Tomorrowland, is this the worst one?
Yeah. I think so. I think, you know what, because a lot of those movies really don't make them much sense. I'll put it up there with another movie that they did a long time ago, a very ambitious film that they tried to do back in the 80s along this level. That was Return to Oz. If I had to equate this to something like that, that would be it. Okay. Yeah, and that movie was an ambitious failure. But hey, like I said, sorry we took black women back. Sorry we pulled diversity back. Just a bunch of crab people here on the show, but